Children, today we are going to learn about proportion. Suppose Shivani bought 6 kg of tomatoes for rupees 72 and Shivam bought 10 kg of tomatoes for rupees 120. Let's find out who bought the tomatoes at a cheaper rate. So first let's find out ratio of quantity of tomatoes. Now Shivani bought 6 kg of tomatoes and Shivam bought 10 kg of tomatoes. So it is 6:10. Writing it as a division, we have 6 upon 10. For expressing it in the simplest form, cancel out common factor 2. And we get 3 upon 5, which can be expressed as 3:5. Now let's find out ratio of cost of tomatoes. Now Shivani paid rupees 72 and Shivam paid rupees 120. So it is 72:120. Writing it as a division, we have 72 upon 120. For expressing it in the simplest form, we cancel out common factor 24 and we get 3 upon 5, which can be expressed as 3:5. Now we observe that the ratio of quantity of tomatoes is equal to 3:5 and the ratio of cost of tomatoes is also 3:5. As both the ratios are equal, both Shivani and Shivam bought the tomatoes at the same rate. So we can say they are in proportion. So equality of two ratios is called proportion. In the above example, 6:10 is proportion to 72:120. Now here the two colons stands for proportion and they separate the two ratios. Children, it is not necessary that all the terms forming a proportion are of the same kind. The first two terms must be of the same kind and the last two terms must be of the same kind. So in our example also, first two terms represented quantity of tomatoes and the last two terms represented cost of tomatoes. Now in general, if A/B is equal to C/D, then the numbers A, B, C and D are in proportion. And we write A/B is proportion to C/D. Now here A is the first term, B is the second term, C is the third term and D is the fourth term of the proportion. And children, first and fourth terms are called extremes. And second and third terms are called means. And if the four terms are in the proportion, then product of extremes is equal to product of means. So for product of extremes, we multiply first and the fourth term. So it is A into D. And for the product of means, we multiply second and third term. So it is B into C. Now this will become clear from the following example. Now let's find out whether the given numbers are in proportion or not. So for numbers to be in proportion, product of extremes is equal to product of means. So let's find out product of extremes. For finding out product of extremes, we have to multiply first and the fourth terms. So here we have 90 into 51 and we get here 4590. Now for product of means, we have to multiply second and third term. So we have 270 into 17 and we get 4590. Now here product of extremes is equal to product of means. So numbers are in proportion. Children, now let's begin exercise 8.3. First, determine if the following are in proportion. First part. Now children, for the numbers to be in proportion, product of extremes is equal to product of means. So here, product of extremes is equal to 30 into 24. That is first and fourth term. So 30 into 24. And we get here 720. And for the product of means, we multiply second and third term. So it is 45 into 16 and we get 720. So here product of extremes is equal to product of means. So numbers are in proportion. Now let's do second part. So here again we will find out the product of extremes. So we will multiply first and fourth term. So it is 6 into 35. And we get here 210. Now for product of means, we multiply second and third term. So it is 10 into 18 and we get 180. So here product of extremes is not equal to product of means. So we say numbers are not in proportion. Now let's do question 4. Now here we have to find the value of p. Now p here is the second term or one of the means. And children, we are already given that the numbers are in proportion. So it means product of extremes is equal to product of means. Or we can also say product of means is equal to product of extremes. So for product of means, we will multiply second and third term. So here we have p into 40 is equal to, for product of extremes, we will multiply first and fourth term. So it is 15 into 120. Now let's transpose 40 to the other side. Here 40 is being multiplied by p. When we transpose it to the other side, it will get divided. So p is equal to 15 into 120 upon 40. Cancel out 0 and 4 3s are 12. So we get p equal to 15 3s are 45. So the value of p is equal to 45. Now let's move to fourth part. So here again we are given that the numbers are in proportion and we have to find out the value of p. P is the fourth term or one of the extremes. So here again product of extremes is equal to product of means. So for product of extremes, we will multiply first and fourth term. So we have 10 into p is equal to, for product of means, we will multiply second and third term. So we have 16 into 20. Now transpose 10 to the other side. Now here it is being multiplied p by p. When we transpose it to the other side, it will get divided. So here p is equal to 16 into 20 upon 10. Cancel out 0 and we get p is equal to 16 2s are 32. So the value of p is equal to 32. Now children, let's do question 5. Now here we have to do the ratios. 12 centimeter to 3 meters and 8 seconds to 3 minutes form a proportion. So first let's find out the ratio of 12 centimeter to 3 centimeter. And children, I hope you remember that to find out the ratio, the units must be of the same kind. So here let's convert meters into centimeters. And we know 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So 3 meters is equal to 3 into 100, which is 300 centimeters. So here we have 12 centimeter to 300 centimeters. So 12 ratio 300. Writing it as a division, we have 12 upon 300. And for expressing it in the simplest form, let's cancel out common factor 12. So we have 12 ones are and 12 25s are 300. So we have 1 upon 25, which can be expressed as 1 ratio 25. Now let's find out ratio of 8 seconds to 3 minutes. Here again we have to convert minutes into seconds, and we know 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So 3 minutes is equal to 3 into 60 seconds, which is equal to 180 seconds. So we have 8 seconds to 180 seconds. So it is 8 ratio 180. Writing it as a division, we have 8 upon 180. Now cancel out the common factor. So we have 2 4s are 8, and here we have 4 45s are 180. So we get here 2 upon 45, which can be expressed as 2 ratio 45. So here children, the two ratios 1 ratio 25 and 2 ratio 45 are not same. So we say 1 ratio 25 is not equal to 2 ratio 45. So the two ratios don't form a proportion. And I hope children, you have understood the concept of proportion. For worksheet questions, do exercise 8.3, question 1, 3rd, 4th and 6th part, question 2, all parts, and for question 4, 2nd and 3rd part. Thank you children. For